Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni avoided tremendously expensive trial by reaching settlement, and it ends with us back. Well, good thing she finally gave up. Like a bad neighbor, State Farm is here. That's fucked up. But I mean, hey, they didn't pay out, so you could say that. Ew. Met Gala protesters place hundreds of bottles of urine inside museum and gross slam of Jeff Bezos. That's gross. What would you do? Newsom's mass housing plan traps thousands in Inferno Canyon, but he's still pushing ahead, survivors. Wildfire survivors have erupted in fury over plans to force through a dense housing project along their only escape route from any future infernos. More than 1,600 apartments are slated for construction along Cannon Road in Agora Hills, a narrow canyon corridor at the edge of the Santa Monica Mountains. Thousands of homes were destroyed during the Woolsey fire in 2018, when nearly 97,000 acres ripped across the region, killing 3 people. Locals reported it taking 80 minutes to move a single mile along one of only 2 escape routes. The same road now targeted for new housing. Oh, that's fucking shitty, dude. That's a death trap, dude. Only 2 ways to get out. People sat in gridlock during the evacuation, said Ray Grulich, 74, with PRISM, which stands for Protectors and Residents in Santa Monica Mountain. There were miles of cars behind them doing the same. The city admits there were 2,000 cars coming out of the Santa Monica Mountains. That's about a 5-mile line of cars sitting in gridlock. Grulich joined roughly 50 residents who gathered along the stretch of road protest what they call a fatal plan on Saturday. Don't close us in, another protester shouted. Your plan is fatal. The housing is being pushed under a new state plan to fast-track high-density development, including homeless and low-income units driven by Gavin Newsom, sorry. Under the plans, Sacramento's stripping away barriers that once slowed development and took a more deliberate approach to where projects are built. The state has expanded rules requiring public land to be prioritized for affordable housing, and in some cases allows development under 20 acres to move forward without full environmental review, including traffic impacts. More than 200 units are already rising next to where the protest was held Saturday. Another 230 are planned for the very stretch where they gathered. In total, roughly 1,600 units are slated for the corridor. This is our lifeline, said Grulich. We came together in 2018 out of concern for maintaining the viability of our evacuation route. The protest today is the same reason. Jacintia Chancellor, 57, said the roads were packed. Evacuating was an undertaking. We couldn't go this way because the fire was coming. We were sent toward Malibu, and that was burning too. Now she says the same road could be pushed past its limits. You're going to have thousands more cars, she said, and it's already so congested just to get across this intersection. She said the current plan only adds pressure to that same choke point. In 2021, the city selected 20 housing sites, and about 75% were south of the 101 freeway, she said. Many of those feed into this section of Canaan Road. The first 4 approved sites all fed into this stretch. We understand California needs affordable housing. We are not anti-housing, he said. We're concerned about where it is placed and the safety of people evacuating. Yeah, I mean, yeah, why would they try to change this town how it is? Like, that's kind of dangerous. Unless you, like, try to build out, like, a whole new, like, little city or a little town. That's not gonna happen. Or at least make a new route. Right, new road. To, like, fix this situation. Because they're in a choke point. They only got 2 ways in and out. And like if a fire happens and well one way is locked down, well you can only go the other way. Okay, well what if the other way was already on fire too? Which it was. When they talked about Malibu. I was like, ugh. I guess we're people already sat in gridlock for the first mile, with miles of cars behind them. Adding more density into that same evacuation route increases the danger. Canaan Road is not just local traffic. It is one of 5 designated evacuation routes in the Malibu Mass evacuation plan alongside Pacific Coast Highway. It is also along the route for the Palisades fire crisis. On a normal day, the road carries about 25,000 commuters. In a fire, residents say it becomes something else entirely. Kevin Cross, 58, lived through it. We were one of the last out, and we couldn't get out. He said, we were driving through fire. A drive that normally takes 7 minutes stretched for what he said seemed a lifetime. It was bumper to bumper. And the police were trying to thread us out, but it was one lane. Fire trucks weren't moving past us. They were probably like on top of the fire truck, probably spraying water, possibly. Maybe they kept water in their tanks. Cross said the scale alone raises alarms. We're talking about 16,000 units, 1,600 units along here. He said everybody's using the road. It's everybody's. If everybody's coming out, fire crews can't get in. He also pointed to what he says was a lack of outreach. We weren't included, Cross said. That's the biggest thing. The Post reached out to Supervisor Lindsay Horvath's office for comment. Her office oversees the unincorporated parts of the county as well as Newsom and the city of Agora Hills. I'm gonna have to tell you that she doesn't do her job, because you know, she's a Newsom appointee. Ouch. There's another kid death. Tragic. Locked in a car again. Iran fires on U.S. warship in Strait of Hormuz after Trump announces plan to guide ships out. Secret. Wait, is this another one? Oh yeah, there is another. Yeah, there is another attempt. Wow, there is another instance of what could be another assassination attempt. California escalates its war on big oil as fight over vital Santa Barbara pipeline dragged into federal court. Women's prison officer learns his fate for rolling rape club in biggest sex abuse scandal in history. Holy shit, that is wild. Former medical staffer at a now shuttered federal women's prison in California has been sentenced, marking the final criminal case tied to what authorities described as the largest sexual abuse scandal ever uncovered inside a U.S. federal prison system. Uh-oh. U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers on Friday ordered Jeffrey Wilson, 32, of Eureka, to serve 4.3 years behind bars at, whoa, only 4.3 years? Really? Behind bars after he admittedly to sexually abusing an incarcerated woman at the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin. Fox's KTVU reported. The facility, I mean, I guess. I don't know, that's still kind of suspicious. That's like abuse of power and shit, like, come on. He should have gotten a little bit more, come on. The facility located east of Oakland, once widely known among inmates as a rape club, was closed in 2024 following years of misconduct allegations involving staff. Wilson sentencing brings closure to the criminal prosecutions involving 10 former employees from FCI Dublin accused of sex crimes against inmates. Prosecutors have not indicated any additional charges are forthcoming, particularly since the prison has been shuttered for nearly 2 years. Wilson pleaded guilty to 6 counts of sexual abuse of a ward involving a woman identified in court records as ES, probably her initials. The charges stem from incidents in 2021 and 2022, including multiple acts of oral sex with Wilson worked as a medical technician at the facility. Oh, he was getting some head, huh? Is that what he did? You have to. I'll heal you, but you gotta suck some dick. Oh, you know what I mean. Many of these Women were emotionally damaged, Gonzalez Rogers said, and yet men like you take advantage of that. I find that offensive and illegal. While not the most high-profile figure in the scandal, Wilson's case is significant as the last to be adjudicated. Former warden Ray Garcia, previously convicted of abusing 3 inmates, received nearly a 6-year prison sentence. Yeah, it's just like, what? Why did this guy get 6 years, but this guy was running like a rape gang out of the... or a rape club, sorry. Or is the place just called the rape club? Of the 10 employees charged, all but 1 were convicted. The lone exception, Daryl Wayne Smith, known by the nickname, his name is Dirty Dick, avoided conviction after 2 mistrials resulted in a dismissal of his case. Federal prosecutors had sought a sentence of nearly 5 years for Wilson, while his defense pushed for a shorter term of about 2.5 years. In addition to prison time, Wilson will be required to register as a sex offender. During the hearing, Assistant U.S. Attorney Andrew Paulson described Wilson's conduct as predatory, saying he groomed the victim, who had been under his medical care while seeking treatment for seizures. According to prosecutors, Wilson initiated contact shortly after beginning his role at the prison, gradually building a relationship with CS through notes, conversations, and personal discourses. Over time, the interactions escalated. Authorities said Wilson encouraged the woman to move to a less restrictive area of the prison, where oversight was reduced, and as he allegedly told her, they could have a lot more fun. He also provided her with a contraband cell phone. Oh, see, there you go. Dirty cops. Or dirty correctional facility workers getting in cell phones and giving it to inmates. Dirty cops, which she used to communicate with him and send explicit photos. Court filings indicate Wilson gave the inmate items including a vape device, lipstick, and a prepaid debit card. In exchange, prosecutors said she performed sexual acts with him in a medical room on multiple occasions, sometimes with other inmates acting as lookouts. In court, Wilson briefly addressed the judge. "I apologize," he said in barely audible tone. "I apologize to CS for what I did, even though that relationship was mutual. There is no such thing as that in prison." He also referenced personal struggles at the time. Wilson said that he had marital issues at the time and wasn't coping very well. That doesn't mean to, like, use an inmate and abuse one. What the fuck? He acknowledged that he made a terrible decision and he'll have to atone for what he did every single day. His attorney argued that a combination of personal hardship, including alcohol abuse, exposure to trauma from his previous work as an EMT, contributed to his actions. Letters submitted to the court from family members described his efforts to seek treatment and repair relationships, including participation in Alcoholics Anonymous. Hey. Still, prosecutors emphasized that the case reflects broader systematic failure at FCI Dublin. For too long, Bureau of Prisons guards at FCI Dublin acted with impunity, exploiting their power to sexually abuse dozens of inmates over whom they had control. Also, an assistant U.S. Attorney Althea Sargent wrote in a sentencing memorandum. Federal court, just like this one, sent these women to FC Dublin to pay their debts to society. The guards whom had control of these women took an oath to protect and rehabilitate them. Though Wilson and others like him betrayed that oath. The Bureau of Prisons ultimately shut down the Dublin facility in April 2024 after acknowledging it could not reform the deeply entrenched culture of abuse. The fallout continues in civil court. Hundreds of former inmates have come forward with allegations of sexual abuse, and nearly 300 women are pursuing additional legal claims against the federal government. These cases follow a landmark $116 million settlement awarded in late 2025 to more than 100 survivors. Prison remains vacant, and federal officers have said there are currently no plans to repurpose the site. With Wilson's sentencing, the criminal chapter of the scandal has formally concluded. But for many survivors, the broader reckoning is still underway. Okay. I guess you can mute. Just so you can do that. I don't know. I just feel like you... Oh, well... I mean, at this point, this is a run-on sentence. Alright. No matter what you do, this is a run-on sentence. Because this acts like a fucking comma. Then again... if you take out this part, right, it still acts as a... I mean, I guess it's okay. This is crazy. It hit a bakery truck? Holy shit, that's wild. Oh man, that's fucking crazy. Uh-oh, at least 12 wounded in shooting in Oklahoma's Arcadia Lake, following large party of young people. Whoa! Secret Service employee allegedly exposed himself masturbating in front of guests at Miami hotel. Dude, what are you doing? What the fuck? What are you doing, man? Armed suspect barricades himself in truck with female hostage after trying to mow down cop. Yeah, apparently Jordan Peterson got some bad illness problems. Uh-oh. Whoa. Grieving SoCal mother says the killer of her 14-year-old son will go free, thanks to woke criminal justice law backed by Gavin Newsom. Maria Gill, whose football star son, Jeremy Rosales, nicknamed Tank, was gunned down near the family's Victorville home in January, told the Post that one of her boy's alleged assailant, age 16, will be released by the time he's 25 under California's Proposition 57. Proposition 57, that's all Gavin Newsom, said Gill, a retail worker who last saw her son on the morning of January 16th, the day he was shot and killed. It's affecting us victims and families. Backed by the Lieutenant Governor Newsom and signed into law in 2018 by then Governor Jerry Brown, Proposition 57 aimed to reduce the state's prison population in part by eliminating the ability of local prosecutors to try juveniles as adults. Instead, prosecutors operating under the controversial law must seek a hearing for jurisdiction change and prove that the accused criminal can't be rehabilitated in juvenile correction setting. Gill said her son, the Oak Hills High School standout lineman, was lured to Mojave Vista Park in Victorville after dinner on a Friday night. Popular hangout spot with local kids less than a mile from their house, frequently hosted football practices, she said. But for reasons that remain a mystery, that night Jeremy was shot near the intersection of Glen Canyon Lane and Burwood Avenue in the residential area. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department deputies said they were called to the scene at about 8:21 p.m. and found the 14-year-old alive but badly wounded. He was rushed to a nearby hospital but later succumbed to his wounds. Died, cops said. San Bernardino. Detectives investigated the case and 2 weeks later arrested Abel Ramirez, 27, and an unnamed 16-year-old on murder charges for the killing of Rosales. The accused killer teen, now being held at High Desert Juvenile Detention Center at Ramirez, is locked up at High Desert Detention Center at $1 million bail, officials said. Ramirez pled not guilty and is due to court for preliminary hearing on Thursday. Gill said investigators told her that the teen is the nephew of Ramirez, but the motive of the pair remains unknown to her. Jeremy was a dedicated football player at the team elite sports academy and excelled academically at Oak Hills High School. A GoFundMe page created to help his family cover funeral expenses said, Hank wasn't just a teammate, he was family. The fundraiser said his loss has shaken our community to its core. Roughly 300 people attended a vigil in Hesperia to honor Jeremy after he died. Her mourners held one final football chant in his honor, accompanied by candlelight and a balloon release. Humble hard worker, straight A student, great son, great teammate, perfect student athlete. One of Jeremy's coaches, Elliot Reyes, told CBS News. Jeremy by far didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. Spokeswoman for Newsom said Prop 57 was overwhelming support by the voters in 2016 general election, before Newsom was elected in 2018. Gill said Prop 57 ought to be reformed and permit prosecutors to charge teens as adult for violent crimes. So they want to add a stipulation saying if a juvenile commits a violent crime, right, then it immediately goes up to adult court or whatever, right? So immediately gets elevated. Escalated. She supports other victims' families pushing for change to the law. So they want to make it a little bit more specific and, I guess you can say stricter on what. Well, I guess you can say a little bit more specific, better than stricter. Such as Central Valley dad Stephen Quick, whose son Caleb last year was shot and killed in a McDonald's parking lot. Gil and Quick were among a group of victims' loved ones who traveled to Sacramento for to protest for change to Prop 57 last week. It's been so hard for me to overcome knowing that my son is never going to come home, he said tearfully. If a juvenile is willing to commit a crime, then I feel that California needs to have a harsher punishment. Go. So they want stricter punishment. Because the way it is now for Prop 57, they have to hear out right? It's basically dependent on the situation. Right? It's case by case basis. They basically weigh out the charges and see if you can do it or not. What? Kamala Harris endorses Karen Bass for LA mayor? Yikes. With bizarre homeless clay. Yo, bro. The fuck out of here. One of the world's largest cities is sinking by nearly a foot annually, risking displacement of millions of citizens. Wow. Red Sox fan proposal gets very awkward. Looked like the woman said, I don't know. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Ouch. Ouch. I feel bad for that guy. Multi-vehicle crash. What is this? White House marks Star Wars Day. Oh yeah, because it was the 4th today, yeah. Jeremy Trump as the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda by his side. Fucking guy. I like how he put the red... I don't know if he chose the red lightsaber on purpose. Or the Republic. The Sith Republic. That's a good one. Alleged Palisades arsonist became fixated with Luigi Mangione, said Blaze started out of resentment of the rich. Oh shit, so dude, he just kinda did an admission right there. Cause he didn't say no, I didn't do it, right? But man, what the fuck? So there was someone who went and fucking started a fire. Look at that. There it is. He stoked the flame. Future star Jackass star's son is dominant high school pitcher. Oh, that's good. He's got a good athletic career ahead of him. If he keeps at it. Disgruntled Californians praise stark dystopian view of Dem-controlled state and creepy stuff. Kamala Harris goes silent in governor's race, snubbing ex-Biden cabinet ally. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, well, I mean, the Democrats have some infighting going on for some reason. Probably because they're not being, on the same board with everything, and they're, like, trying to do this shit for their own fucking political gain. Right? They're all in it for their own self-interest. Oh, tourist trap? Hordes of tourists seeking cheap travel are imprisoning villagers inside their homes. We have reached our limit. Interesting. There's some places that hate tourists, it seems. Because there's, just too many that come around. And it just makes a fucking bottleneck of their daily life. Judge apologizes to WHCD shooting suspect. Call Allen over jail condition. No, this looks like a fucking meme photo. Cause it's like, why is his head different from his body? Like, why is his face only tan versus his like his whole body? There's a weird discrepancy if you can't see that. Underwater world, more than 100 historic shipwrecks identified at key global shipping route, many at risk. Uh-oh. That just means, accidents, on those shipping ways. Or shipping routes. Common accidents, if you could say. If there's that many ships found, right? Data. In other terms. Oh, haunting final texts emerge after CHP captain and her Napa Valley hitman lover lured her husband to his death. Wait, what? Shocking grisly details behind murder of stunning Miss Switzerland finalist carefully removed this body part? What the fuck, dude? I'm sorry, what? You got mutilated? That's fucked up. Desecration of a body after you just fucking murder them. Yeah, that's way to be a fucking creep. Horrific murder-suicide sees boxer 25 gunned down by his girlfriend's jilted ex-husband. Oh, that is unfortunate. Yikes. Damage incoming. Epstein survivors demand action from New York Dems on bill to let them sue his estate. Uh-oh, Dems. You gonna do it? Are you gonna do it, or are you just gonna leave them out to fucking hang out and dry? We got someone missing, never making it to class for a week. God damn. He is fine. Hello. What is this?
So let me say that when I ran for president in 2020, I was the only candidate
It's Tom
who
Stayer.
loudly and repeatedly championed reparations.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking lunatic.
Weird thing to brag about.
And I did that because it seems very clear, and I think the people on the who've spoken before me have
He's
said it very
fucking
clearly,
lame and
that in
gay.
fact, this is what is legally due for generations of structural racism and mistreatment. And that's the way our legal system is supposed to work. So that's why I'm in favor of treating black people like everybody else in this society, that when someone is mistreated, there is redress. And I would work very close. I agree with whoever has said, and I think everybody has said,
What if politicians
that we've done an awful lot of study of
mistreat
this. And now the question
citizens?
is
Can
actually
those
to get around
citizens
to
get
deliver
redress?
results.
It doesn't seem like it. I say we sue all you motherfuckers for being shitty. Yeah, this happened today.
Following some breaking news out of Germany, where 2 people have reportedly been killed, 2 others seriously injured after a car rammed into a crowd in the center of the eastern city of Leipzig, about a 2-hour drive from Berlin. Reuters, citing a local radio broadcaster, reports that a damaged Volkswagen SUV with a person on the top of the vehicle was seen speeding through a pedestrian zone. According to local police, the driver of the car has been apprehended.
Yeah, that happened today. We don't know what happened exactly yet, but
3 people are dead and at least 3 more are sick after a suspected outbreak of hantavirus on board a cruise ship. New video this morning shows the
Dude, this is like
ocean-wide
the 3rd cruise
expedition
ship that had
MV
fucking
Hondias,
problems.
anchored in Cape Verde, Africa, where it's waiting for help. The Dutch cruise ship was on a weeks-long polar cruise from Argentina to Antarctica and St. Helena. The 170 passengers and 71 crew members on board are not being allowed to disembark. 2 symptomatic crew members have received urgent treatment, and 1 passenger is in intensive care. Hantavirus can cause a deadly respiratory illness called
being skimped out on
hantavirus
maintenance during
pulmonary
COVID? Yeah, it seems
syndrome,
so.
which killed actor Gene Hackman
Or like
and his
nobody
wife
did
Betsy
anything.
Arakawa last year. It typically spreads through contact with rodent droppings, though one rare type can spread from person to person. The World Health Organization is now investigating this case.
Ew, rodent dropping. Yeah. And then you're on a cruise where everyone's so close to each other and shit. It's like, ugh. Gross.
Well, to pick up on the issue of discrimination on the basis of transgender status, let me just go to some basics. Do you agree that a school may have separate teams for a category of students classified as boys and a category of students classified as girls?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it does that, then is it not necessary for there to be, for equal protection purposes, if that is challenged under the Equal Protection Clause,
No,
an
don't say
understanding
that.
of what it means to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that definition? For equal protection purposes, what does it mean to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, we'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was just understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded.
Ma'am,
we do not have
you
a
are
definition
trying
for the court.
to get
And we
money
don't take issue with
where there's no
we're not
money to
disputing
be
the definition
had.
Here. What we're saying
What are you
is
doing?
that the way it applies in practice is to exclude
fucking lunatic.
birth-sex males categorically from women's
Well,
teams,
actually,
and that
you
there's
look like a
subset of those
dude.
birth-sex males
Is
where
that
it doesn't
why
make sense to do
you're
so
helping
according
transgender
to the
women?
state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection
Yeah,
purposes?
it's like, what are you doing?
I think here we just know that we basically know that that they've identified pursuant to their own statute, Lindsay qualifies as a birth-sex male, and she's being excluded categorically from the women's teams as the statute. So we're taking the statute's definitions as we find them, and we don't dispute them. We're just trying to figure out, do they create an equal protection problem?
This woman is really fucking retarded.
Well, she's looking for a problem
This
that's not
stupid
fucking
bitch.
there. She's trying to do everything she can to, like, win an argument that's not fucking there. Fucking loser. Hunting vinyl texts emerge after CHP captain and her Napa Valley hitman lover lured her husband to his death. Napa Valley man Thomas O'Donnell. I have opinions on this that cannot be voiced on the internet. Napa Valley man Thomas O'Donnell found guilty of murder for hire in Kentucky court. Prosecutors say former California Highway Patrol Captain Julie Harding hired O'Donnell to kill her estranged husband, Michael Harding, luring him to a secluded Kentucky home for an HVAC repair. Harding died by suicide months after the killing. O'Donnell, 64, faced 20 years in life in prison. Napa Valley man hired by a former California Highway Patrol captain to kill her husband has been found guilty, as text messages reveal details of the murder for hire plot. And there's been a lot of these over the recent years, murder for hire plots. A Cumberland County courthouse in Kentucky found Thomas O'Donnell guilty Friday of killing Michael Harding, the estranged husband of Julie Harding. Prosecutors say she hired O'Donnell, who she had suggested to colleagues she was dating, to carry out the slaying amid a conscientious divorce. Oh, so it was, they were divorcing and decided to, oh, well, this is it. I'm gonna kill her. It's like, she. The jury deliberated for only about 2 hours, or she's like, I'm gonna kill him. About hours after closing arguments. There's no evidence someone else killed him. Prosecutor Jesse Stockton said as he rested his case before the 12-member jury. All this evidence points to his amateur hitman from California. Do your duty. Find him guilty of murder. The quick verdict came after days of testimony from dozens of witnesses, including an FBI agent who walked jurors through 2022 text messages showing how Harding was lured to a secluded home under the guise of an HVAC repair. At 4:10 p.m., Michael Harding texts the prepaid phone 35 minutes out. Special Agent Elizabeth Beeler testified she said someone replied, "No worries." Michael then responded, "Is that good for you?" The user of the prepaid phone replied, "Yes." They used a prepaid phone as a burner phone. That's why. See you soon, Michael texted. Perfect. Came 4:16 p.m. FBI data showed the prepaid phone traveled alongside O'Donnell's personal phone, including 3 trips to Salina, Tennessee, where Michael lived. 2 days before the murder, O'Donnell's phone was near Julie's Sacramento home at the same time as hers. Prosecutors argue this is when she hired him. On the day of the killing, Julie Harding's phone was in Sacramento, while O'Donnell's phone and the prepaid phone were near the crime scene in Kentucky, where Harding was shot at a vacant home on September 19th, 2022. Prosecutors also pointed to DNA and ammunition evidence, though investigators never recovered the murder weapon, prepaid phone, or a key fob linked to the case. The defense argued that the phone data only shows device locations, not who was using them, and noted there was no direct proof of payment. Attorneys claimed O'Donnell was involved in a plan, but did not intend for Harding to be killed, suggesting a third unknown man may have carried out the shooting. Julie came up with a plan involving another man and Tom, said defense attorney Sarah Zucher. Okay, if you said another man, who's the other man then? So they're basically saying there was a third party. The third party incident. My client didn't do it. It was the third party. Tom was involved with this plan, but did not intend for this result to happen. There has been no proof he had any idea that Michael Harding would be murdered. The defense also pointed to Julie as the only person who may have known the full truth. She died by suicide months after the killing. The murder happened on September 19th, 2022 at a vacant home on Glasgow Road in Burkesville, Kentucky. O'Donnell, 64, now faces 20 years to life in prison, and he will be sentenced on Monday. O'Donnell is the hitman for hire. Oh yeah, there was that. Also, there was that other one case where there was a where there was a police shooting where they shot their own fucking where they did friendly fire, and I think the other officers succumbed to their wounds. Fucking yeah, that was a bad one. That was a really bad one. Shocking grisly details behind murder of stunning Miss Switzerland finalist. Carefully removed this body part. Yikes. Man fatally choked his model wife, a former Miss Switzerland finalist, after she told him she wanted a divorce. Man. Yikes. It's always after wanting a divorce, man. People fucking fly off the handles. Right? They feel like their life is falling apart, and then they fucking do the unimaginable and go on a fucking rampage. And then carved out her womb and pureed her limbs in a blender. What the fuck? Holy fuck. Were you gonna eat her too? What? According to cops. Mark Reben, 41, who is set to appear in court Monday, allegedly beat and strangled stunning mom of two, Christina Jacksimov, before dismembering her body in February 2022 in a horror case that sent shockwaves across the country. That's fucking wild, man. Reben is accused of killing his wife when the 38-year-old model told him she wanted to call off their relationship, according to the local Swiss paper, Aegis and Zieger. The pair had just had an explosive fight over their impending divorce, child custody involving their two daughters, and financial issues February 13th, 2022, before her butchered body was found later that day in Benningen near the city of Basel, prosecutors said. Reben allegedly grabbed Jacksimov by the throat and threw her up against the wall during a violent argument. He then strangled her to death with a ribbon-like object, according to court records obtained by the Daily Mail. The husband ended up chopping up her body with a knife and garden shears. Jesus fuck. What? Huh? You know the big garden shit? The fucking... the branches and shit? Yeah, those garden shears. Yeah, but what the... Oh, probably the knife to fucking... because he stabbed her up, possibly. Police said. At one point, he carefully removed her womb. Oh, that's why. He wanted to fucking do that. Fucking wild. The sole organ ripped her from her torso in what medical experts called the deliberate mutilation or ritualized degradation of the body. Well, yeah. Several of her body parts were cut up with an industrial blender, pureed and dissolved in a chemical solution. Officials confirmed. Reben was watching YouTube videos on the phone while he dismembered the model and pureed her limbs in the industrial blender, according to court documents. Gee, fuck. Crazy. Her father found her body in a black bag in her laundry room. Reben kept insisting he didn't know where Christina was and claimed she would just leave sometimes. Close family friend of the couple told the Daily Mail. When Jacksimov's father opened the black bin bag, he saw her cut off head and head with the hair still attached, the source said. Investigators found an industrial blender in the model's remains, including flaps of skin with muscles still attached, as well as chunks of bone. Reben, dude, that must have smelled bad too, because it's like decomposing fucking human matter. Reben allegedly snapped her hip joints out of their socket and proceeded to remove her upper left arm, forearms, and right lower leg. Dude, this is brutal. Holy shit, to do all this? My fucking god. According to the grisly autopsy report, he then severed her spine in order to chop off her head. Fucking Christ. Reben, who was charged in December with murder, was insisted the killing was in self-defense. I don't know about that, man. Yeah, that one's hard to believe, sir. She was really in love at the beginning, but I was a bit surprised when she got into a relationship with him, as he didn't suit her at all, the family friend said of the pair. He came across as really introverted, very critical, and sometimes quite arrogant. He was really derogatory with her, with gestures, words, and even his tone. He wanted Christina to disappear. Jacksimovic was crowned Miss Northwest Switzerland and in 2007 was a finalist for Miss Switzerland. She later ran her own business at a catwalk coach and mentored model Dominique Rinderknecht for the Miss Universe pageant in 2013. Man, she's hot too.